Mr. Lloyd. Mr. Lloyd, you will have 5 minutes for your round of questioning. You can please begin.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. Is deterring asylum claimants who cross at an irregular crossing like Roxham Road a priority of your department and this government?
I think that we want to have, the message is always that we would like to have people claim asylum at ports of entry in this country. That is our message, absolutely.
So you would agree that deterrence is one of your priorities?
I would say that absolutely we look to ensure that people take safe passages to claim asylum in this country, yes.
Does your department have any programs to deter people from undertaking this dangerous journey in the first place?
I think there's information sharing about kind of safe ways to seek haven in this country. And I think that we continuously demonstrate a record in this country of accepting asylum claimants. And I think that we share information around a safe way to do that.
But are you spending any money to share this information with people coming from countries that we've identified are the source of irregular claimants? Is there any money being put into sharing that information so that people will choose not to come in the first place?
I think that there's always capacity building that we do in terms of sharing information about the proper channels to which we follow. So
how much money?
In terms of investment, it's part of kind of our international protection systems, our information flows that could have some of this, but would have other types of...
How much is the government spending to educate people to try to deter them from coming to this country irregularly?
I don't have that dollar figure. I think
is it anything? Is it $0?
Packages.
Is it $0?
There is some work done in terms of information and capacity building in other countries. Absolutely, it's not $0.
Okay, so it's not $0. Okay. How much of the $1.3 billion in new funding that's been announced is dedicating to reducing the Immigration Refugee Board wait times that you admit take over 2 years?
I'd have to get the exact breakdown of how much the IRB is getting. I'm sure that they can.
Can you please provide this committee with that information?
Yes, I can.
Do you agree that if we were to cut down this 2-year plus claims process to a process that took a matter of weeks or possibly months at most, that this would prove to be an effective deterrent to bogus claimants who come to this country?
Well, I think that it's hard to answer that question. I think what I would say is that we want to have an asylum system that is efficient and nimble and flexible and responsive to the demands that we get. And I think that right now we don't have that. So we have to work with our CBSA and IRB colleagues to improve the system and the processing.
So what efforts are being undertaken to reduce those wait times right now?
Well, I think I would say a good example of it is given the fact that it was 18 months to get a work permit, the department's just put in place a public policy to reduce that time to 1 month.
That's for the work permit, I understand. But for hearing the asylum claims, what is being done to reduce the 2-year plus wait time for hearing these asylum claims?
I think that would be better placed with the IRB. I can't speak to what their efforts are specifically on.
Do you know if any money is? Do you know if any money is being put forward to reduce these wait times?
Absolutely.
Can you please provide this committee with information on additional resources that are being put in towards reducing asylum claim wait times, as well as a number of how many full-time equivalents have been hired to reduce this backlog?
Absolutely, and I can say budget 2022, $1.3 billion. Fall economic statement of 2020, $780 million. Budget 2019, $769
But you don't know how much of those big numbers are actually being spent on these specific measures that I've asked, though, correct?
Well, you mean on the processing specifically, the breakdown of the processing specifically? I don't have it here, but we do have them, yes.
I guess in my final time, my other question is I see in the estimates here that about 87 million.
I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
That 87 million was spent on providing temporary accommodations to unvaccinated, asymptomatic travelers during the time when quarantine hotels were the policy of this country. Was there ever any efforts made to ask those people who are participating in these quarantine hotels if they could pay for the hotels themselves?
I think that just given the public health risk, there was a decision made for the government to pay for the hotels, and just given the levels that we're seeing now, the government has agreed to continue to pay.
So for a regular
Sorry
crosser...
for
thank you.
interrupting, Mr. Lloyd. Your time is up.